I started this 13,500 piece puzzle thinking it would be a slow, relaxing side project. I gave myself to Thanksgiving, and then all of a sudden, it was only 2 weeks away. Hey everyone, I'm Emily, the Casual Puzzler. Welcome back to my channel. We are going over the 13,500 piece puzzle from Trefl called The Golden Age of Disney. And today I'm taking on the wild, chaotic, and very last minute journey to the finish line. This project started off strong and then completely stalled out, and all of a sudden I only had 2 weeks until my Thanksgiving deadline. I think we need to do a little rewind so you guys can catch up of where we stood just a couple weeks ago. This puzzle is divided up into 9 1,500 piece sections, and I had a really strong start where I did the first two within the first couple weeks of me starting this project. The project then was put on hold, not for any particular reason. I just thought I had plenty of time and eventually I'll get to it, and then I just never had the mindset to do a 1,500 piece puzzle, because for me in my head 1,500 pieces always seemed like a big time commitment, and so I just pushed it off and pushed it off until around November 7th. This is when I had a little puzzle party, and I thought it would be fun to at least do one other section before the Thanksgiving deadline. I had kind of put it in my head that I was not going to finish it by Thanksgiving, but I thought I could at least do another section with my puzzle friends because they're super speedy puzzlers. So we have decided to do the Sleeping Beauty section, which I was really thankful for because that was a section I did not want to do alone. So we had the whole day and we did complete the next section. That left me with 6 more sections to do within just 2 weeks of me completing this project. And I didn't think it would be possible, but I thought, you know what, let's see how long it takes me to do the next section, which was Mickey Mouse. So I am working on Mickey Mouse, which is this one here, doing it a little bit differently this time, where I did not do a ton of sorting at the beginning. I just pulled out one poster. So that has been my plan. I did take out the edges because I don't need most of them. And then I've just been doing little sections versus doing a giant sort, and honestly I'm liking it more. So I'm going to continue on this section. Hopefully I can get it done in the next couple days. Will I have this puzzle done by Thanksgiving, which was my plan? I don't know. For the Mickey Mouse section, I did something completely different than the other sections I had done, where instead of doing a big giant sort at the beginning, which I absolutely dreaded, I just jumped into the pieces like I normally do, just grabbing one little poster at a time. And that was the thing that got me motivated to do more of the puzzle, because I didn't have this big, long, daunting task of sorting pieces. Instead, I just jumped right in and did one section at a time, which made it so much easier for me to do. We have this section, currently gonna work on Mickey's head right here. And then the rest of the posters are pretty much done, except for this one. I do need to do that poster, but yeah, it's going pretty well. The Mickey Mouse section only took me a day, and when I realized how short of a time it actually did take me without sorting pieces, I thought, let's just do the next section.
So now the question is, do I want to open up the next bag? Kinda. I'm kind of still having that urge to puzzle, so I'm thinking we can at least start pulling and sorting. That's my thinking.
I kind of like Cinderella because there's so many different posters. So I think I'll do Cinderella, which is bag F. So I followed up with Cinderella, and again, that one was a really fast, easy approach where I just jumped into the pieces. But this is where I ended last night. I did sort out the edges, and then I have pretty much the words done. And I've been working on this poster and then Cinderella. And then there's another Cinderella here, and there's another Cinderella here. And I feel like for me, the dresses aren't too different. I mean, there's little bits of variation, but they run a little bit similar to me. So, you know, I think I can get through quite a bit this morning. If I maybe focus on the edges of the poster, it might help me. So that's the plan. Cinderella was definitely the hardest section for me to complete. For some reason, all the blues melted together, but it's still a lot faster than I was originally expecting, with it only taking me about a day and a half to complete. So here is what it's looking like. So we just have these little bits in between, and then there's probably a couple rows of the edge, and then the actual border. Again, we don't need every single one. We only need to have 2 sides. So we'll figure out that once we get to it, but yeah, we'll be able to finish it soon. And from there, the ball was rolling, and I was like, you know what? If I just did one of these sections every couple days, I could technically complete it before Thanksgiving.
I had started on this one, and Dave had started on this one. I knew this one was going to be tricky, so I was like 80% done with this one, and he was like, let's switch spots. So then I finished this, he finished that, and then I had done the words over here, and we're trying to work out this red chair and fill in the last poster. I think the poster is actually going to be trickier than the background, because at least the background, when you look at it, has different elements to work with. Like we have a couple hats, we have the pocket watch, we have Alice here, and it still has that gradient. So that's where we're at. I'm sure we'll finish it today, but not our favorite section. But just to let you see Bambi, I just have words, flipped pieces over there, and then these are all the edges that I won't need. So they do provide them all, but since it's the center puzzle, I don't need them this time. We are on the next section, so we only have 2 left. Already finished the Bambi one. Dave is helping.
No.
No? You're not helping?
No.
Oh, well, he's currently flipping pieces, but not helping. And we are now on to Peter Pan. My goal, to finish it this week. So, we can do it, right?
You can do it.
Also, it's Saturday. Saturday evening. It's so dark out already. So hopefully I can get a little bit done today, maybe finish this one tomorrow. So I'm not really showing you everything because I feel like it's similar from one to the other. And I'm realizing I much prefer just like grabbing pieces that I want to work with and then doing them versus like doing a giant sort in the beginning. It seems to be going faster for me. But I start with the words. So we have Peter Pan, and that gives me an idea of like the colors for the posters. And then I had been working on one poster and just grabbing pieces from the trays. So I'm making progress, which is good. I really just jumped right into this project, and that was not originally the plan. I just had the urge to keep doing it, and now I'm like, ooh, I'm so close to actually finishing it before the deadline of Thanksgiving, which I didn't think was going to happen. So I'm happy with how much progress I have.
Before I knew it, I was on to the last section, which was Pinocchio.
Right here is where I'm at with Pinocchio. I had started with the words like I did every other section, and then I've just been picking one poster at a time. Started with this one, and then I was filling in this one, did the edge because this one has like a very distinct border, then worked on this guy over here. And now I'm working on the blue. So there's dark blue here, there's a little square here, and then there's a little bit over here. So that is where I'm at. I'm thinking after I do the blue, I might work on, I guess, this poster. That's the one that's left, which looks like that. So that is the plan. All right, we have made so much progress, and it really has only been a couple hours. All right, it has only been an hour and 15 minutes, and look how much progress I've made. It goes really fast for the posters. Now I just have this one tray of pieces left, but I'm realizing for the whole puzzle, it's been taking me about 6 to 7 hours, which I think is pretty good timing. The longest part for me is going to be filling in these little bits, but honestly, this one doesn't have too much in it compared to other sections, like the Peter Pan section definitely had the most. Maybe Alice in Wonderland, I remember having a lot of the other like tan sections. So, you know, it's not too bad, but let me show you Peter Pan. Like Peter Pan, that was quite a bit, but there was like a little thing to work on. Same with like Dumbo, you had like this tent. So other sections had definitely more of the purple border bits, but I don't think it's going to take me too long. So I'm gonna get going. But if you can see on the puzzle, each section has a pretty distinct coloring. So you're really only working with a few pieces and lots of stuff. You can still pick up pieces that have a little bit of like the edge or a little bit of like a little bit, you know. And then of course we have like stars and such we can work with. So lots of stuff to work with these extra pieces. So I'm gonna get going.
One thing I liked about this puzzle is that once you did a couple of the sections, the other ones kind of made sense of how you would complete them, which made them a lot faster. So Pinocchio had very similar artwork for the different posters, just different characters, and I did like the words, which was always what I started off with. I loved how bright and colorful this puzzle was. The pieces are a little bit on the smaller side, so when you look at the 13,000 piece puzzle altogether, it's much smaller than what you'd expect. And the 1,500 piece puzzle is really the size of about a 1,000 piece Ravensburger. But Pinocchio was super fun, bright and colorful, and I really thought it was a great one to end the project with. The section of the puzzles that always took me the longest was the background, where we have all those purples and the gradient colors. With the different colors though, they are in various different sections of each poster. So you may have a gradient of purple on one side, orange on another, red on the other. So if you're really good with color matching, it's easy to tell which area of the puzzle it is and maybe do a little shape sorting to help you out. And just like that, the final section was done. But finishing Pinocchio wasn't the end. I still needed to put all of the sections together to see what the 13,000 piece puzzle looked like. And with each section, I did keep some of the borders on that I didn't need to do. So I had to remove some of the borders and then connect the sections. Now with Trefl's puzzles, they have a universal fit technology where you can move the different sections to fit together once you remove the borders that you don't need. Now this is where I was a little bit bummed out because once you put those pieces together, it really didn't line up perfectly. Some of the stars didn't line up correctly. I feel like the Mickey Mouse section was a completely different puzzle altogether because it did not match up whatsoever. But when it's all together, it was still a momentous occasion seeing the full puzzle up together, and when you're looking back you really don't notice the flaws, but when you got close you can see that things just didn't line up correctly, which was kind of a bummer. As far as all the different sections, I think my favorite might be, I'm not sure. I kind of really liked Pinocchio, to be honest, maybe because it was the last one, but actually Bambi might have been my favorite.
I helped.
Because Dave helped, but I also feel like the gradients were nice. And there's very distinct posters. So I really like that one. I actually really did like Winnie the Pooh too. That was the first one. So really all of them were fun. I think my hardest one for me was Cinderella. For some reason, all the blues just kind of worked together and it was hard to tell one poster from the next. I had people say that Cinderella was actually their easiest one for them, and Peter Pan was the hardest, and for me it was opposite. I think Peter Pan was probably one of my favorites and definitely one of the easiest ones versus Cinderella, which for me was tricky. So it goes to show that each puzzler is a little bit different, but I'm happy to have it complete. And that's it. I have completed the 13,500 piece puzzle. 10,000 pieces were completed in a single week, which is absolutely wild. One thing this project taught me is that 1,500 piece puzzles really aren't as daunting of a task. I did each section within 6 to 8 hours, and really that's not a huge time commitment. It's not that much longer than a 1,000 piece puzzle for me. So I do plan on doing more 1,500, maybe 2,000 pieces a little bit more often. In general, I did like the puzzles and the individual sections. I am happy to have completed such a massive project. This means I can also go to Disneyland with a complete guilt-free conscience because I have a completely empty puzzle table. But that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this style of content, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love if you subscribed if you are a puzzle lover as well. But thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!